happening, people? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. Big up to everyone. It's match day and it's another daily dose of Mina. I hope you are all doing well. Let me know, guys, how you lot are doing, how you lot feeling ahead of the game. We got a lot to talk about. Because I dropped a video, I think it was yesterday, on the Marcus Rashford interview, and since then there's been some evolving information. Obviously, Ruben Amorim did his press conference. Heaps of questions about Marcus Rashford and no questions about the Spurs game. But he also gave us some insight into some other stuff. Mason Mount's injury, Garnacho's inclusion in the matchday squad. And it's been reported going into tonight's game that Marcus Rashford has not travelled with the Manchester United team. Now, of course, we're going to wait to see, the official lineup, which will drop. The game is at 8, so I think the lineup will be out at about 7. But, with the world of the football leaks, we will definitely know more over the next coming hour or two about, whether Marcus Rashford is with the squad or not. We've got a lot to talk about, as always. We've got some transfer news as well. Manchester United's interest in left wing backs intensify as a new name comes up on the list, which is PSG's very own Nuno Mendes. Now, that is on top of another name that's popped up, which is also DeMarco. Don't know how likely that one is, but that's another name, I guess, to add to the list. I want to hear everybody's thoughts about this Marcus Rashford. I don't want to call it a saga. Do you want to call it a debacle? I don't know what you want to call it, but this Marcus Rashford thing, I really would love to hear everybody's thoughts of it. We're going to talk about, obviously, Marcus Rashford's comments. We're going to talk about Ruben Amorim's comments as well. And I want to hear what everyone has to think. I really want to do, because I've seen so many conflicting opinions. And this is, I think, a topic that really has everybody kind of divided. On one side, there's the people that feel like Marcus Rashford has been done wrong. Then on the other side, there's the people that feel like the club have been done wrong and, he can, in polite terms, go away. And then there's people like me where I feel like I'm just in the middle. I feel like I can understand both sides of the argument, but I do kind of accept the fate that it's probably time for Manchester United and Marcus Rashford to part ways. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Harry Maguire. We're going to talk about the squad. We're going to do a little preview leading up to the game. So, like I said, guys, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. It's Daily Dose of Mina, but I haven't been doing the streams daily. I'm very, very sorry, guys. I'm very, very sorry. But I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying to do a balance of videos and streams for everybody. And we're on the road to 10K, guys. We're on the road to 10K. We're about halfway through 8K. So we're nearly on 9K. I said the goal was 10K by February. So hopefully we will be able to achieve it. Big up to Jared with the super chat. Jared, I hope you're doing well. Says, hey, Mina, surprised about the Rashford situation or what? Is he gone if he doesn't get back in? That's the perfect avenue. That question and super chat, I think, is the perfect avenue for us to start the conversation. Now, I know you lot see Harry Maguire up on the screen, but I'm going to bring up Marcus Rashford here. I think, just for some context, guys, obviously, with the whole Marcus Rashford thing, the timeline has been very, very interesting, because we went from no one talking about Marcus Rashford over the last, I would say, couple of weeks. People have been speaking about his performance, but nothing else. Then, of course, the big news, I think, that really brought up the topic of Marcus Rashford is him getting dropped for the derby. I mean, not only to get dropped, but to be completely left out of the matchday squad, for me, is very evident that it is a big thing. Because, you don't just get removed out of the matchday squad for no reason. Getting dropped out of the starting 11 is one thing. But the fact that Marcus Rashford has missed now, he hasn't been part of the starting lineup for 3 Premier League games in a row, I think is very clear after that Man City game, which was a great performance. And it's very unfortunate, actually, that the Manchester City result is kind of clouded by this whole Marcus Rashford conversation, because that was a big result for Manchester United. And I do think it was a humiliation for Manchester City. But because of that, and then because of Marcus Rashford choosing to do an interview with Henry Winter, I've seen people calling it PR. I've seen people alluding to kind of it's been pre-planned. The way that I see it, it looks like Marcus Rashford has seen the news and the information, because, guys, I don't know if you lot realize, just 2 Sundays ago, we were talking about Dan Ashworth getting sacked. Now no one is talking about Dan Ashworth getting sacked, and everybody is talking about Marcus Rashford. That is how quick the news moves in the world of football for Manchester United in particular. And I feel like maybe not, this might be a theory. Everyone's been speaking about Marcus Rashford because, there's been reports last week in the media that, Manchester United are looking to sell him. They're willing to listen to offer for him. They're putting him on the transfer list as soon as January. And now it looks like he's come out and he's tried to control the narrative. He's basically saying, if you lot are going to talk about me, I'm going to control the information out there. But I do think a part of it has kind of backfired, because Marcus Rashford came out with the interview with Henry Winter and basically said, I'm looking for a challenge, and when it's time for me to leave, I'm going to address the fans, and there's not going to be any kind of bad blood between me and the club. And he said, I'm going to issue a statement at the right time to speak to the fans. And I feel like that's a kind of a sucker punch to your teammates and to your manager. The reason why I'm saying I feel like it's a sucker punch to your teammates and your manager is because they were not aware. Ruben Amorim said in the press conference that he was not aware of the interview being organized. He wasn't aware of, Marcus Rashford sitting down with Henry Winter. He only found out the same time all of us found out. The same time all of us got the news, which was Tuesday evening, right? I was on a train back from Liverpool. I was shooting with Liverpool women, and I was on a train back just listening to a podcast, and I just thought, let me go on Twitter and just see what everyone's talking about. And bam, the first thing I saw was Marcus Rashford said he's ready to leave Manchester United. And I was like, what the hell? So I can imagine Amorim's shock. If I was shocked, I can imagine Amorim's shocked. And the rest of us were probably shocked. I feel like Marcus Rashford has tried to control the narrative because of the way that the media has kind of pinned this whole story of, he's not working hard and the club are pushing him out there. They're fed up of him. He earns this much, blah, blah. So he's coming out and saying all of that. But I feel like it's a sucker punch to your teammates. It's a sucker punch to your manager. Yeah, because it's not like with Manchester, maybe Manchester United are briefing their journalists that they're looking to sell him, and that's how they're getting the information. Maybe the journalists are plucking it out of thin air just to get clicks. It's not as if the topic of discussion, or let's say the news came from the source's mouth, i.e. Man United saying that they're going to sell Marcus Rashford in January did not come directly from Manchester United. It came from other journalists. I would have preferred, not going to lie, I personally would have preferred if other journalists had said, reports are suggesting that Marcus Rashford is looking at leaving, or blah, 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 because it's a sucker punch to your teammates. We are in the trenches right now. What I mean by being in the trenches is that it is the peak time of the season where United are playing a game every 3 days. Between today and the 30th, what's that? 11 days, United are playing 4 games. Do you think your teammates want to hear you doing a public interview to say, yep, I'm looking for a new challenge, I'm probably going to leave, and I will speak and address everyone, obviously, in due time? I think that's a bad look. But I also look at it and think he's trying to control the narrative, because for a very long time, the media has controlled the narrative. But then that also kind of backfires, because then people start calling you a PR merchant. People start can I just say, guys, as well, and I'm going to go through the comments as well. Can I just say, on Marcus Rashford, when it comes to what he does for charities, for schools, for young kids, please don't call that PR. Please do not call that PR. I think that's like, you can have your dislike for him as a footballer, but outside of the football, the other stuff that he does, please don't be disrespectful, because I don't think that's a cool look, personally. But hey, who cares what I think? Big up to Pyramid Skis. How the Roosters are losing, Mount injured again. Rashford on fraud watch. Life is good. Big up to Alumba. Big up to Joe as well. HD says transfer request in-house would mean he doesn't get loyalty bonuses. Going through Henry Winter was clever. I guess it is also because Henry Winter is a trusted journalist to Marcus Rashford. Like, he's a trust, because he's been there throughout his entire journey of his off-the-pitch charity work. So it kind of makes sense as to why Henry Winter was the one that got the exclusive. But I'm going to stick by this viewpoint, this is a sucker punch to your manager. Your manager now has to deal with, by the way, I think it was Samuel Luckhurst that actually tweeted it, saying, Manchester United under Ineos have cut a lot of the communications department. So as a result, there's no one to comment on Marcus Rashford's comments. The script, guys, the jokes write itself at this point, right? But Ruben Amorim had to turn up at Carrington that next morning and basically prep for what was going to come in the press conference. And what happened in the press conference? 11 journalists asked questions about the same thing. Every single journalist asks the same thing about Marcus. No one asked him. If you wanted to hear what Ruben Amorim had to say about the Spurs game, you would have to watch the individual interview that he did with MUTV, because in the actual press conference with the media, everybody wants to talk about Marcus Rashford. And then you see things like the Telegraph posting 9 articles about Marcus Rashford in 8 or so days. Manchester United get these journalist clicks, and Marcus Rashford has given ammunition, if you want to say, to these journalists that have already made it clear, I think, that they're not fond of him. But I promise you guys, yeah, I'm sorry, Marcus Rashford will leave Manchester United, excuse me. I know that. I already have kind of accepted that. The media will just find a new person. The media will just find a new scapegoat. And you know who's going to be? It'll be Kobe. It'll be Ahmad. The second that Kobe Mainoo comes out driving a lavish car, traveling on a private jet, taking a lavish holiday, buying his family a lavish house, the second he does that, the media will go on to turn him into the new victim. They did it with Sterling. They did it with Rashford. I saw an article today from the Telegraph, guys. I didn't click the article, but I saw like the link on Twitter, and it was about Jack Grealish and whether Pep needs to alter his tactics to get the best out of Jack Grealish. And I thought, are you having a laugh? 100 million, and you're talking about altering his tactics? Give it a break. Give it a break. The best thing that Amorim has brought to the club is team selections don't matter as much whoever plays. That's true. That's true. And you know what? One thing I enjoy about, the way Ruben Amorim dealt with the questions, because some of the answers, guys, were absolutely, for me, magnificent to hear. Let's actually go through some of them quickly. So Ruben Amorim, obviously, if you lot don't know, he came out, did his press conference after the game, before the game. So he did his press conference yesterday. And what did he do? He answered it in the most diplomatic way. And one thing I like about Ruben Amorim is he's a very straight guy. There is no way to misinterpret what he says. There's no way to misconstrue what he says. There is no way, guys, to read between the lines of what Ruben Amorim says and come out with your own kind of opinion and theory based on what the manager has said. Because what Ruben Amorim says is very straight to the point. It's very direct. He's not beating around the bush. He's not using glamorized words to maybe, plant seeds in people's head for them to interpret it how they want to. He's very direct. He said, we are better with Marcus Rashford. Simple. That is simple. We will try different things to push Marcus to the levels he showed. He said, this kind of club needs big talent, and he's a big talent. So he just needs to perform at the highest level, and that is my focus. I just want to help Marcus. That key part, guys, I just want to help Marcus. This is not a manager that's saying, by the way, who I think, I've said it, he said it was a sucker punch. That interview was a sucker punch to your manager because your manager wasn't aware of it. But your manager's being very gracious with his answers. And he's saying, I just want to help Rashford. He then went on to say, guys, and this is what kind of, it's like, the Uno reverse card. Marcus Rashford said, I need a new challenge, or I'm open to a new challenge. Amorim put down the Uno reverse card and said, well, this Manchester United project is the biggest challenge because it's something new. Like, that's the biggest Uno reverse card if I've ever seen one. But it's also, I think, the right way to answer it. I definitely feel like it's the right way to answer it, because there's no way for the journalists to kind of come out and be like, Amorim encourages Marcus Rashford to leave, because then that also, I think, creates a very, I don't want to say a toxic dressing room, but Manchester United for a very long time have needed, have definitely needed a cultural reset. And can I just say, just on the Rashford thing quickly, we've been calling for change, right? We've been calling for open heart surgery. So for once, let's welcome it with open arms. If Manchester United turn around today and say they're selling Rashford, they're selling Bruno, they're selling this person, embrace it, guys, because we have been asking for this kind of change. And I actually think with Marcus Rashford leaving, there is no way that if stuff go wrong, that he will continue to be a scapegoat. Whether he goes on to flourish if he leaves Manchester United, that's kind of a different conversation. That is a completely different conversation. But there's also no room to kind of misconstrue anything, because Manchester United will be essentially having a new beginning. Now, Amorim was asked about Rashford and Garnacho, whether they will play versus Tottenham. He said, we have one more training, but it's the same as all the other players. If they train well, then I have to make a choice. We'll see at the end of training. It then came out that Marcus Rashford had not travelled with Manchester United for today's game. Today's game's in London. Manchester United departed yesterday. He didn't travel with them. There was some information that was saying that Marcus Rashford was off sick the day after the Derby game. Apparently he was off sick, and I think the interview with Henry Winter was done before the Derby. Apparently, I need to double check, but apparently it was done before the Derby. Now, whether he is sick or not, it's very clear as day, yeah, that Garnacho's response to being dropped for the Derby is a completely different reaction to what Marcus Rashford has done. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Garnacho was dropped, and this is probably the first kind of, it wasn't disciplinary, so I'm not gonna call it that because the manager said it's not a disciplinary action. But this is the first kind of, I would say, act of difficulty probably that Garnacho has encountered at his time as a senior player at Manchester United in the men's team. And you could let it hinder you, you can let it affect you, or you use it as kind of motivation to. It's like when you get in trouble in school, guys. It's like when you get in trouble in school. When you get in trouble at school, you can use, you get a 1 hour detention, right? And you can use that 1 hour detention to just sit around and sulk, or you could use that 1 hour detention to do your homework so that when you go home, you don't have to do your homework. It's called thinking smart. Garnacho experienced something difficult for a young player like himself that's never experienced that, i.e., the public scrutiny, but as well as being publicly dropped from the matchday squad for a big game. And it seems like Amorim has been receptive of the way that Garnacho has reacted and not necessarily maybe the way that Marcus Rashford has reacted. Now, let's not get it twisted, guys. Just remember, Marcus Rashford ain't no bum, yeah? And I know you lot are going to say, Mina, why are you defending him? But I think we need to clarify, and I want to hear what you guys think, yeah? I want to hear what you guys think, because I think there's no future for Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. I don't think there's a future for him, unfortunately, because I feel like it's too public. Didn't something happen similar with Garnacho? It did, but he wasn't like an integral member of the senior team. That's my point. Whereas right now he's solidified a role in the senior team, whereas before he was coming from the academy to the first team in that summer when Ten Hag had to discipline him for something. Just on Marcus Rashford, though, I do think that Marcus Rashford is done at Manchester United. I'm going to be very honest. I do think he's done, and I don't see him coming back and really taking us by storm again. I don't think so. And you know what? That hurts me to say, guys, because if you guys were watching the streams during the summer, I was saying Rashford, 20+ goals in all competitions. Remember, guys, do you guys remember? Because I do. The videos are still there. So it hurts me to say this. But I've also can say that I've seen bigger players that have done more for the club leave, right? I've seen players come to Manchester United and have kind of high aspirations for them, and they never really achieved it. Marcus Rashford, I think, will be remembered for the time at Manchester United. Like the period that he was at United, the decade that he was at United was a very dysfunctional decade. That's what I call it. It's a very dysfunctional decade. It was a toxic club culture, if you want to call it that. The dressing room, the changes of managers. He's gone through how many managers in his career at one club? And I realized Marcus Rashford and Trent Alexander-Arnold could both possibly leave their boyhood clubs this year. And they are both players that I would have imagined would have retired at the clubs. I would have thought Trent retires at Liverpool because he's a Scouser through and through. And I would have thought Marcus Rashford would retire at Manchester United as well. But it's not the case. But let's not act like people act like Marcus Rashford wasn't scoring goals for United. You don't just get 200 goals for a club for goal involvement. Sorry, 200 goal involvements plus for no reason. That doesn't happen for no reason. I think Marcus Rashford's peak, and we can see it here, Marcus Rashford's peak was around that Oli year up until Ten Hag. Up until Ten Hag. That is probably when we've seen the best of Marcus Rashford. Do I wish things worked out differently? Yeah, I do. I really wish things worked out differently. But this is my question to you guys. Does Marcus Rashford go down as a Manchester United legend when he leaves? Yes or no? Does he go down as a Manchester United legend? Now, reportedly after the FA Cup, by the way, the reason why he reacted like this, if you lot remember, he was bawling. He was sobbing like, oh my God. Like, the way he was sobbing after the game, you would have thought, I thought it was the end for him, but it was reported that he thought they were going to sell him in the summer. That's what he thought, which is why he was crying in the way that he was. By the way, all of you lot are saying no. I don't think he will go down as a legend either, guys. I don't think he will go down as a legend, but I think it's because he hasn't won a Premier League. Like, because people call David De Gea a legend because David De Gea won a Premier League. I think that's what people remember you for. I've actually seen a debate online kind of suggesting Robin van Persie is a bigger legend than Marcus Rashford would be if he leaves the club because he's won a Premier League. I think, I wouldn't say Marcus Rashford will go down as a legend, but I do think he will go down as like I don't want to say academy legend because there's academy players that have come through Manchester United's academy that have done far more than him, right? But I do think he will go down as that time period at Manchester United. He will go down as probably the best product to come out of Manchester United. Maybe not maybe like on a completeness level. I don't know. You lot are all saying no. A Manchester legend, yes. A Manchester United legend, no. Jason says he's not a legend. Good player that didn't fulfill his potential. He's not a legend. Not a legend, a good servant. You lot are saying he's a local legend. He'll be remembered as one of the stars, but not a legend. I agree. I think he'll be remembered as a good servant of the club, but not. What makes you a legend, guys? Genuine question. What makes you a legend? Because, like I said, everybody says RVP is a Man United legend. I like the way also, guys, RVP embraces his Manchester Unitedness. He didn't spend a long time at the club. Couple of seasons. He embraces his time at Manchester United, obviously, because he won a Premier League. But he embraces it more than his time at Arsenal. Like, he actually embraces it more than his time at Arsenal. And look at this, Benji coming through straight away with the super chat. Big up to Benji for the super chat. Thank you. He says, for me, should have got rid 2 years ago. RVP, bigger legend. A lot of people say that RVP is a bigger legend than Marcus Rashford. And maybe it's because he's won a Premier League title, but they've also had two different kind of trajectories in terms of, I think a legend, is here you go. Legend is someone who made significant impact on the club, winning major honours. I agree. I think I agree. I don't think United have had many legends over the last, like, have we had any legends since Sir Alex Ferguson has retired? No, I don't think so. And I don't think we will anytime soon. Until we win Premier League titles, until we win Champions Leagues. Like, I was having this debate in my family group chat, some of us are Man United fans. And some people in the group chat were like, you know what? Yeah, Rashford, you can leave, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying, don't disrespect him. And I got cooked, guys. I got cooked because they were like, my family were like, what are your standards if you're advocating for Marcus Rashford? Like, we've seen people like Roy Keane at the club and people like Paul Scholes and Giggs and, Carrick and Rooney, and you're crying over this guy that's never won a Premier League title. But I realized it's because of it's the stature of the silverware that you win. No one's going to remember Carabao Cups. No one's going to remember Europa Leagues. No one's going to remember, maybe they'll remember the FA Cups, but not so much. Not so much. Legend status is longevity and success. And it's also, I think, what you contribute in that time. I also think it's about what you contribute in that time. We've got over 140 people here, guys. We don't even have half of that in likes. So please hit the like button if you've just come through. If you've been here the whole time and you haven't liked the video, don't be a disgrace, man. You know the rules. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button as well. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel, guys. I'm moving over to being a full-time content creator soon, so I really need your support. And it goes a very, very long way. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. Big up to Ash, been a member for 6 months. I just realized I got a Rashford emoji as well, so that's another one that I have to get rid of after I got rid of the Ten Hag one. Outstanding contribution / what you're remembered for, and I think that's in reference to what is a legend. Big up to Riri, says Mina, the club has not been at the level of Sir Alex and never will be again. The game has changed so much, and I wish this fan base would move away from the past nostalgia. That is a very valid point. That is a very, very valid point. I feel like football evolves, and I was having this debate once, right, with one of my friends, because I was talking about how in basketball there's dynasties, right? But I feel like Sir Alex Ferguson distorted the idea of, because he was such a great manager, I feel like he distorted the idea of Manchester United kind of as a club. Because in basketball, guys, there's dynasties, right? But dynasties dominate for 4 or 5 years. They go into a rebuild. They start over again. Same, I think, with NFL. In football, I think there's dynasties outside of Sir Alex Ferguson. I feel like teams have periods where they dominate 6, 7 years, and then they go back to square one, or maybe they just, relapse a little bit, and then they, go back to maybe building a dynasty again. But because of Sir Alex Ferguson consistently competing in the Premier League, consistently winning it as well across his time period, on top of that, Champions League. Sir Alex Ferguson went to how many Champions League finals during his time as a Manchester United manager? Some managers in the Premier League can't even get to 1 or 2. And he got to how many? 4? Was it? Yeah, 4 Champions Leagues. I feel like Sir Alex Ferguson's achievements have really distorted to fans kind of what the reality of it is, i.e. Manchester United were great for so long because they had Sir Alex Ferguson. They had Sir Alex Ferguson. That is why. Because Sir Alex Ferguson was able to... The thing is, Manchester United had periods of dynasties. These dynasties that I'm kind of referencing, Man United had these periods where they had a dynasty in the 90s. They had a dynasty early 2000s, in the late 2000s. Like, we had dynasties, but it was because Sir Alex Ferguson was so good at being able to rebuild whilst still kind of having the foundations of that dynasty. We've seen people like I'm not gonna lie, guys, the day Cristiano Ronaldo left Manchester United, guys, I sobbed. I was a teenager. I didn't sob, I didn't cry, but I was really upset because it was just off the back of losing in a Champions League final. I was so upset about that. But Sir Alex Ferguson didn't make me feel like that. Yeah, we missed the absence. Like, you can feel the absence of him, but you won't really feel it because the manager's going to be able to rebuild, or he'll do with what he has. Pep Guardiola is a perfect example, in my opinion. And that's why I don't get why people like to compare Pep to Sir Alex, because Pep Guardiola has only had dynasties. And when he's had dynasties, has he ever been forced to strip it all down and rebuild and start over again? He went from Barcelona to Bayern Munich to Manchester City, and only now I think he's experiencing, the collapse of his dynasty. In what world do you see, one of the best Premier League strikers of this era leave in Aguero? A couple of seasons later, you replace him with Haaland. That's no problem. Pep Guardiola only now is feeling, I will say, the downfall of his dynasty, and I'm all for it, because you never experienced that at Barcelona, you never experienced that at Bayern Munich, and now you get to experience it at Manchester City. And this is what, for me, segregates good managers or good coaches and the best. So please, guys, don't let any Man City fan fool you guys, or even rival fans, when they try to discredit what Sir Alex Ferguson did because, it was Manchester United, they were the biggest club in the world, blah, blah. Because Pep Guardiola right now, his dynasty is being stripped left, right, centre, and he's struggling. He's coming out talking madness in press conferences. But sorry, guys, I just went on a rant. The next decade plus after Sir Alex, we never had a consistent identity as a club. It's a tough environment to perform at elite levels. And I also think, I think that also contributes to Manchester United's downfall, is because United had Sir Alex Ferguson for so long that they never really prepared for life after him. And when life after him kind of came, We were just learning on the job. They were literally just learning on the job. Suddenly they have to strip down the recruitment and try and improve it, but they don't know how to do it because they got a bunch of bankers in charge. Like it is a bit unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit unfortunate. Don't jinx it, Mina. Let the crumble nicely. Yeah, I need to allow it. I need to allow it. If Pep had this form at Barca, he would be at the risk of being sacked. You know what's so funny is I see Man City fans saying they're not worried. And the thing is, I get it in it because they're still within contention in the league. You know, they just need to win a couple of games in the Champions League because of the league format, and they'll be all right. But I don't see it getting any better. And you know what makes it even, guys, you know what makes this feeling even better is that I was watching Sky the other day and I saw the list of their most recent games. And you know, it says like loss, and it's in red. And I saw Man United and it said L. That just made everything look so much better. It just made it look so much better. But just quickly as well, some more news. This is coming from Dean Jones. Just some update on the squad. And we're going to talk about transfers as well before we start talking about the Spurs game. Dean Jones, reporter for Give Me Sport, very top guy. He's a good guy. I know him very well. Says that Ruben Amorim reportedly wants to extend Harry Maguire's contract as he is confident that he can become a key part of his plans. Harry Maguire is not on course to be put on the market this winter transfer window. Now, I don't know if you guys saw after the City game, but I think it was Andy Mitten asked Harry Maguire about his contract situation at Manchester United, and he kind of hinted at the idea that he's in talks with Manchester United, and he's also still got. He referenced that he still has the 12-month option that can be picked up as well. How would you lot feel about Harry Maguire staying? I wouldn't mind if it's... What's the likelihood he takes reduced wages? But he's on 190, bro. I don't care what you earn. It's not like I'm the one paying your bills. But 190 a week for the role that he could have at Manchester United, I don't think he's going to be a consistent starter. But you know what, guys? Can I just actually... I can't help but have to talk about the Rashford thing similarly to, you know, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, guys, I don't know if you lot remember, he faced one of the worst, in my opinions, definitely is up there with what I've seen in recent years. I don't want to say scapegoating, but he was a victim of bomb threats. The media was ripping him. Yeah, the media was ripping him. From a personal perspective, yeah, Erik ten Hag came into Manchester United. He didn't strip him of the captaincy immediately, but he benched him. That's making a statement straight away. Then he strips him of the captaincy. Manchester United are advertising him 2 summers in a row. Who wants to buy? Who wants to buy? Who wants to buy? And what did Harry Maguire do? He kept quiet and played his football. That's it. He might have had his little injury problems here and there, which he has, but he's kept quiet and he's played his football. And I think this is how you answer, kind of, in the face of scrutiny. I think this is how you answer stuff. I do think he needs to take a pay cut, though. I do think he needs to take a pay cut. 190 is a bit mad. For a rotation player, let's put it into context. Manchester United wanted Tosin Adarabioyo in the summer, yeah, from Fulham. He was available on a free. Chelsea got him. They're paying him 120 a week, yeah? He chose Chelsea reportedly over Manchester United because United offered 80 a week and Chelsea offered 120 for a rotation role. He knew he wasn't going to be a starter at either team. So I think that kind of puts it into context. Now, one thing Manchester United need to do is get control of their wage structure. This is the European leagues, guys. Yeah? Manchester United have the 4th highest wage bill in Europe. Now, you're not going to say, yeah, we're Manchester United. Of course, we have to, you know, we pay top money to our players. But look at all the teams in and around, you know, the top 10 highest wages. Yeah? And look at where they are. Look at their achievements. Look at their success in recent years. Real Madrid, of course, they're going to have the highest because they also, I think, generate the most revenue. Bayern Munich, you know, they ain't won. They didn't win the Bundesliga last season. I think Harry Kane, sorry, not Harry Maguire. Harry Kane earns a shitload of money at Bayern Munich. Manchester City, well, we've been knowing them. Them man be paying everybody mad wages. Manchester United, PSG, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona, Liverpool, Inter. I've seen someone referencing Trent on 180. Trent is different, I think, because Trent came through the academy, so he would have had like his first senior contract, his top contract as well. Whereas Harry Maguire, this is his can someone tell me, is this Harry Maguire's contract from when we signed him? He hasn't had a top contract since, because that's been a long time, guys. That has been a long contract. Damn. I don't think we can compare it to Trent, because Manchester, this is his first contract. Okay, this is from his first contract of joining Manchester United, which shows you Manchester United be really saving on assets in terms of trying to get the most out of their assets by giving them 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is. But I think when we have rotation, the reason why I'm saying rotation players shouldn't be earning the same amount as starters, in my opinion. I don't know if you lot disagree with me, but I don't think rotation players should be earning anywhere near the same amount that starters are earning. Because also, by the way, you get a 20%, what is it? Is it 20% boost if Man United qualify for Champions League football, etc.? If you win a trophy, you get a boost as well. If Harry Maguire is to stay, which I've actually said this quite a few times, Manchester United have Licha, Yoro, De Ligt. We got Mazraoui that can play right-sided centre-back. Luke Shaw, if he's ever available, can play left-sided centre-back. We got Lindelof leaving. Johnny Evans probably going to retire at the end of the season. I see Man United signing one centre-back in the summer. Maybe two. I think this summer was an anomaly for Man United signing two centre-backs, because one was a starter, one was like a future signing, one for the future. I feel like this summer Man United have so many pressing issues to address. Left wing back, midfield, the kind of inside forward /10, whatever you want to call it. Manchester United might not be able to afford to buy two new centre-backs. They might not be able to afford it. So they might have to look at, the financial implications of, okay, if we can offer Harry Maguire 140, 130 on a 3-year extension, because he's probably looking for his last big contract, right? So if they can find a financial, I'm going to say loophole, to keep in Harry Maguire, that will probably be cheaper of them. It's cheaper for them to keep Harry Maguire than it would be to go out and sign a player, because when they sign a player for 30, 40 million, hypothetically speaking, right? United sign a new centre-back for 40 million. Now then you also their wages. From a financial perspective, how much are you reporting on your financial books? Would that be more or less than what you would be reporting for Harry Maguire? Because once Harry Maguire's old contract is over, you're only accounting for his wages. You're not accounting for the amortization of his transfer fee anymore. Whereas if you sign a new centre-back, you're going to have the annual cost of the transfer plus the wages, which means by default it will be more expensive to sign a new centre-back than it would be to give Harry Maguire a new contract. But also saying that, like I said, Harry Maguire is probably looking for that last payout. We need two centre-backs, maybe even three. You need more if you're playing a back three. That's the thing. How many positions can Manchester United address in the summer? Like, what's the likelihood of Manchester United signing 3 centre-backs? I think it's very unlikely. And if they do manage to sign 3 centre-backs, a position will be neglected. Left wing back, maybe up front, maybe the midfield, somewhere will end up being neglected. And I do think this summer, Man United might not be able to address every single position. Like, I'm seeing people talking about what's it called? I'm seeing people talking about January transfer window, and I'm really surprised that you guys actually think United might sign someone in the January transfer window. The only way I see United signing someone in the January transfer window is if Marcus Rashford is sold, and he's sold for a decent price. Like, you lot have called me delusional for saying 60 million for Rashford. Like, I know you lot have said I'm on something for saying 60 million for Marcus Rashford. But Manchester United need to sell him for at least more than 40 to get someone. They have to. Now, if United were to sign someone in the January window, it has to be a left wing back. For me, it has to be a left wing back. What left wing back do you guys like, guys? Because I've seen us linked to bro, I'm running out of how many left wing backs we're being linked to, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen the most These are the two most recent links, yeah? Let me see if I can find a picture for both of them. This is the two that we've been linked to most recently. Number one, DeMarco at Inter. For me, I think he's the best left back in Europe right now. I think he's the best left back in Europe right now. Number two, another player that we've been linked to, Nuno Mendes at PSG. On top of that, we've seen names of Kirkes, we've seen Aït-Nouri, we've seen Robinson, we've seen Alvaro Fernandez, we've seen Alphonso Davies. One thing I'm feeling a little bit reassured about is that the left wing back position is in abundance right now. It's not a situation where we are counting our eggs like this, saying, "Oh my God, how many options do we have?" I feel like there is about 7 or 8 left wing backs out there that Manchester United could look at. Now, what would be my preference? My preference, there is a few players that are my preference, but I also feel, I don't know why, I feel like all roads potentially leads to this guy here. I don't know why. For me, all roads potentially leads to Alvaro Fernandez. He's the cheapest option. After Alphonso Davies, who's available on a free, he is the cheapest option for Manchester United. And we know we've got a bunch of Scrooges. I'm going to quote Ineos that. They are Scrooges. They got a buyback clause, 20 million euros. He'd be happy to return back to Manchester United, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm just assuming he would be. But I also think, well, why did you sell him in the first place? If you're just going to buy him back. He's not the best out of the list, by the way. I think he's good, but I don't think he's a starter. You didn't think he was ready. What was it? When did we sell him? 2 seasons ago. We sold him 2 summers ago, right? So you didn't know. You didn't feel like he was ready then. You feel like he could be ready now. But even I don't think that Manchester... I feel like it's never worked out for United going back for a player that they let go. Maybe I'm too traumatized. Traumatized. Why did we even sell him? He reportedly wanted first team football. That's literally the reason. And I watched him a lot at Preston North End, and he was playing there as a left wing back. He wasn't playing as a left back. And I always said, if Man United need a left wing back, he would be a good option. But if they need a left back, he wouldn't be a good option. And maybe Man United didn't anticipate. Because we loaned him out first and then we sold him. We loaned him out in January and then we sold him. And I always liked him when he was on loan at Preston North End. I really liked him. I think he won Players Player of the Season there as well. But for me, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you sell a player and put a buyback clause, because you definitely, you clearly anticipate that he will go on to be a good player, just to buy him back when you're already struggling financially? It just don't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want Alvaro. Kirkes and Aït-Nouri, by the way, are prem proven. Alfonso is the best player. Yeah, I think if we were to talk about all of the kind of left wing backs that United are linked to, I think Alphonso Davies is up there. And then after that, I really like Kirkes. I really like Robinson. I like Aït-Nouri. My preference personally, my preference is that Manchester United sign a left wing back that is Premier League kind of experienced. Premier League, by the way, is not it's not like the end all or be all for players. But I would prefer a player that is already playing in a back three system, number one, and number two, playing in the Prem. If Manchester United were to go on and get Alphonso Davies, all right, cool. But if I was to talk about the Premier League options, because it's not just United looking for a left wing back or left back in general. I know Liverpool are 100% getting rid of their left back. And they were looking at, I think they've been linked to Kirkes, they've been linked to Aït-Nouri. That's the two that I've seen Liverpool linked to the most. I don't think Arsenal will be out looking for a left back. I don't know what the hell City are going to do. They might not even be in the Premier League next season. So really out of the top, Spurs won't be looking for a left back. So really, when it comes to Premier League rivals looking for left backs as well, it's only really Liverpool. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. We signed Diogo Leon, so they will go for an experienced left wing back. I also saw a suggestion, by the way, that was saying, I don't know if it's true. Let me double check, but I saw a rumor that Harry Amass might be going out on loan. I saw a rumor that was saying that Harry Amass could be going out on loan. Yeah, so United's plan is to send Harry Amass out on loan, preferably in January. Player wants more first team minutes and wants to prove what he's about. Amorim is currently processing the youth, hence why limited youth players have been involved. So that kind of gives context to that. I don't know. Is it Harry Amass not getting any like 1 minute is very interesting. But I also think, guys, that let this be a lesson to everyone. We don't need to gas up our youth players. Let this be a lesson to me. I'm saying let this be a lesson to everyone. Let this be a lesson to me first and foremost. We don't need to gas every academy player up. Like, I watched Harry Amass in the summer preseason, and I remember I watched Sam Murray, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I will be 100%, and I said it at the time, I was more impressed with Sam Murray at left back than I was Harry Amass. I did think Harry Amass was okay, but I was definitely more impressed with Sam Murray, who definitely looked like, for me, the more comfortable out of the two of them. And you know, Harry Amass is young, so is Sam. I think Sam Murray is a year or two actually older than him. But yeah, here you go. This is Abe's World says it here. To be honest, if you watch the academy, you know Amass wasn't fully ready. I agree. I haven't watched the academy a lot. I do watch them here and there, but I haven't watched them a lot. Let me see if there's what time, guys. What time does usually do we usually get leaks out? Me complaining about leaks the other day. Look at me. I'm a bad example, guys. I was complaining about the leaks the other day. And then here I am saying, where's the leaks? Where's the leaks? Where's the leaks? I haven't seen anything leaked about the lineup. Maybe Manchester United finally got a hold of the leaks. Maybe Manchester United finally got... Here you go. Look, yeah, here you go. Thoughts on no leaks today after club launching investigation. Because normally, the game is at what? 8 o'clock? The game is at 8 o'clock. Wallahi, normally by now, I would have seen 1 or 2 people in the lineup. It's not 30 minutes before. Bad example. I know I need to be better. I need to not be a bad example. I'm a bad person, guys. I'm really, really a bad person. Let's do lineups, come. Let's do a lineup builder. I don't really like doing a lineup builder because Ruben Amorim already makes it difficult for what the hell we're gonna get in terms of players. But we could do a lineup builder. Let me change the formation as well. This is the first ever time I've actually used this. How do I even change the formation? This is, guys, let this be a lesson again to you guys. Okay, here's the formation. 3-4-2-1. There you go. Is that upside down? Am I looking at it the wrong way, guys? Which way is the goalkeeper? Which way is... I think this way. This guy here is the goalkeeper, right? It has to be. Yeah, this guy is the goalkeeper because he's inside the goal, literally. So let's go with this. Let's go with this. The difficult thing is, yeah, and this is why I don't do like build up preview streams. Because Amorim makes it difficult because you do not know what United you're gonna get. Like, let's be honest, guys. We do not know what United we are going to get under Ruben Amorim. But I do feel like Amorim will go relatively strong. Because I think, by the way, guys, Spurs are going to go strong. Everybody's saying, oh, it's just the Carabao Cup, whatever. But I was watching the games yesterday. Newcastle went strong. Arsenal brought on their big boys at halftime. Liverpool were relatively... I think they had quite a few of their starters playing. I have it. Yeah, he's saying Bayinda in goal. But I have a feeling Anana's going to start. Has Bayinda played under Amorim? He played under Ruud van Nistelrooy. He played under Ruud van Nistelrooy against Leicester in the Carabao Cup. But has he played... I don't think he's played under Amorim. Yeah, I don't think he's played. He's played under Ruud van Nistelrooy against Leicester when we beat them. But and for that reason, I'm going to go with Anana in goal. For that reason, I'm putting Anana in goal because I don't see Ruben Amorim going with Bayinda for this kind of game. The only thing I will say, guys, before we kind of do like predictions and that, is I just realized the next round is 2 legs. The next round is 2 legs, and one of them is going to be played at the beginning of it's going to be played beginning of January. So we got Liverpool in the first game of January is Liverpool at Anfield. Then we will have the first leg of this game, and then we got Arsenal in the FA Cup. And who could we possibly get? Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal. That's the 3 that is left in the Carabao Cup. But anyways, let's continue. Backline. I think we might see... I don't know, guys. I'm actually trying to figure it out because I just realized it is a kind of trickle effect. Because if Bruno plays in the midfield, Ahmad will probably play in the 10. So he won't play at right wing back. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to kind of predict, but I'm gonna go De Ligt. De Ligt in the middle. I'm gonna go Yoro at right-sided centre back. And I'm gonna go Licha at left-sided centre back. That's my back 3. That is my back 3. Stu says Yoro, Evans, Maguire. You think Evans is gonna play? Maz was limping a bit, so it could be Yoro, Maguire, Licha. So you lot don't think De Ligt's gonna play? Everybody's saying Maguire. Maguire's interview after the derby kind of suggested that Man United are managing his minutes. I think that was his first full game that he's played. I do think Yoro's going to play. I think Leach is going to play. Maybe it's the central position. Guys, this is not a lineup of who I think should play. This is what I think United are going to play with. I think Maguire's going to get some rest. I think Mazraoui's going to get some rest. I think Yoro needs to get some time. He needs to get some game time, get some minutes under his belt. I think we might see Anthony. I think we might see Dallo at right wing back, or actually Anthony at right wing back. I don't want to see him at right wing back, but I think our wing backs are going to be these 2. I want to see Collier playing under Amorim. I don't know. I don't think that could be likely. I think Dallo Anthony plays because who else are we going to play? Oh, Malacia. You know what? Malacia. I think Malacia could play. I think Malacia could start because Malacia has been starting in these kind of games, the Europa Leagues, etc., etc. Let me zoom in actually because I just realized you guys can probably barely see anything. There you go. So that's what I've gone with so far. I think Malacia at left wing back, sorry. And I think Anthony at right wing back. It's not a bad shout. I don't think it's a bad shout. I actually like this back line. I think it's a good balance of ball playing players. I will miss Mazraoui if he doesn't play, just because he adds that little bit of security. But again, I think it's important for Malacia to get some more minutes under his belt. Like the only way Malacia is going to improve and be more confident is if he plays. That's it. Someone just said Malacia is just an Ashley Young. If Malacia is Ashley Young or could be another Ashley Young, that's not an insult. That's not an insult, guys. I actually saw a stat. Let me actually see if I can find it. I don't know if you guys know a guy called James Alcott, one of my favorite creators. Yeah, he's one of my favorite creators. He posted this on his channel. Flipping out, where is it? Oh my god. He's one of my favorite creators. Yeah, James Alcott. He's one of my favorite. He does like a lot of tactical breakdown stuff. And he said Mazraoui has the highest percentage, yeah, in the Premier League of dribblers tackled, i.e. players, wingers cannot get past him. And you know who is number 6 on that list? Ashley Young. Ashley Young was 6th on the list of the highest percentages of tackles won versus dribblers. Like, let's not disrespect Ashley Young. Let's not disrespect Ashley. 39 years old, pushing 40, still playing in the Premier League. But next up, guys, midfield. Who are we going for in the midfield? I think Ugarte is going to play, but I don't know what's happened to Casemiro under the manager, guys. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I don't know what's happened to Casemiro under the manager. He's just am I the only one that feels like the Casemiro hype has kind of fizzled out a little bit? He'll play Casemiro. Stu says Maino / Casemiro. For me, I think Ugarte is always going to play. Like, the guy eats up a stupid amount of grass. Not literally, guys. He doesn't literally eat grass. Figuratively, he eats up a stupid amount of grass. Casemiro, he will start today. I think he finally embraced his bench role. Maybe. I just realized we don't really see much of him. And the thing is, right, this Spurs midfield is no joke. I mean, Kulusevski, for me, you need to watch him. Like, I need someone in the midfield that just chases Kulusevski around, like, barking at him. Maybe Ugarte might be good for that. I've seen Kulusevski as well talking about Ahmad, about he's one of the best players that he's played with. They played together at Atalanta as well. If you don't know, they played together at Atalanta. But Kulusevski in the midfield is pulling the strings for Spurs. If Maddison starts, and I think Spurs will go strong. I think Ange will go strong because this is their real shot at silverware. Like, they've got other players on the horizon, etc. But this is their real shot of silverware. So they're going to go strong, which means Maddison's going to play. Kulusevski's going to play. You know, I don't know what their injury situation is. But I think for that reason, Ugarte has to start. Big up to Sully with the super chat. Thank you, Sully. Says, Carabao is a distraction. I want Europa. I just want whatever we can get. You guys are saying Ugarte and Maino is starting. If Maino starts, guys. All right, I'm going to put Maino in there because you guys genuinely think Maino is going to start. This leads me to the fun part, which is the two behind the striker. Is Garnacho starting? Is Ahmad starting? Is Bruno starting? Who is starting today? Is Garnacho getting back into the... By the way, guys, Garnacho, I think his record in the Carabao is pretty decent this season. Who's going to get rested? Is Bruno getting rested or Ahmad getting rested? Because I'm not going to lie, one of them needs to get rested. And if there's out of the two of them, I want to see Bruno get rested just because he doesn't get rested often. And even, like, I also think, by the way, guys, the people that play in the 2-10s is a decision for who plays up top. If Bruno is rested, I think Xerxes plays up top, in my opinion. The reason why I think that is because Xerxes can drop into the positions that Bruno would occupy naturally as a 10, and Garnacho and Ahmad can utilize the space behind the centre backs, etc. And by the way, they're missing a lot. I think they're missing Van der Ven, right, and Romero. So let's pick the 2-10s. Garnacho, Bruno, Xerxes, Ugarte and Bruno in midfield, Ahmad and Maino in the 10s. That's not happening, man. Let it go. Ahmad gets rested. You lot all seem to think Ahmad might get rested. I think he prefers Bruno in the midfield. He played him there in hard matches. Bruno and Ahmad. I don't know. A part of me thinks Garnacho will start. Ahmad, Fernandez, Xerxes, Bruno, Ahmad, everybody. You know what, guys? I have to put Bruno and Ahmad then because all of you lot are saying Bruno and Ahmad. What the hell did I just do? Oh my god. What have I just done? I swear, I'm actually moving like an auntie with this because why am I acting like I don't know how to use this? I genuinely do not know how to use this. Oh, there you go. Let me put it back. I'm acting like a fob, I swear. Let me put Bruno on the right and then Ahmad on this side. There you go. This is what I love about Ruben. Not one of us can predict what he'll do. That's a big fact. That is a big fact. It makes it so difficult. Personally, I'll bench Garnacho. We need that attitude settled. Man was hiding his face today like he's angry or something. Let him feel how he's feeling, guys. Let him feel like that. Minna hates sauce. She prefers her footy tasteless and bland and dry. Come on, man. Why are you being so mean? Who's playing up top? I think Xerxes plays up top, guys. I think this is a game for Xerxes to get some minutes in. And I actually think with Romero being out, with Spurs missing quite a few of their centre backs, I don't think this is a game necessarily for Højlund. Personally, I don't think this is a game necessarily for Højlund. We're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna actually come back to this in the five things we learned to look back on the lineup. I haven't seen any. Let me just go and check if there's any leaks. I should not. Oh my god! Look, people on Twitter are so funny, but they're tweeting saying, "Where's the early news?" Suddenly, there's no early news. There's not, guys. I haven't seen one thing of early news. This is United really stomping out the leaks. United really stomping out the leaks. Joshua Xerxes, please, brother, I need you to get on the score sheet. What are we saying for predictions, guys? Not with this lineup, but just generally speaking for the game today. What are we saying for predictions? I'm gonna go 3-1 United. I'm gonna go 3-1 United. That's crazy. That is ridiculous. Where am I getting 3-1 from? Where am I getting 3-1 from? I did say 2-1 for the derby and I got it right. So I'm hoping that I can continue with my confidence. I just feel like United's going to concede a goal. I don't know what it is. And like I said, I anticipate that they will go strong. I don't know if you lot are, guys. Are you traumatized from the Spurs Premier League game back in September? Because that was a traumatic game. That was a very traumatic game. But I'm hoping that the change in system, the change in manager will change our fate for us. A lot of change. So I'm hoping it changes our fate. But I'm going 3-1. Goal scorers, I'm saying Bruno. I'm saying the front line. Whoever plays in the front line, the front three, they're scoring. That's where the 3 goals are going to come from. I'm hoping for a dominant performance. Number 1, patterns of play. Number 2, I'm hoping for responsibility in possession. Because it's all nice and good to have possession, but do something with it. Please, no spammed crosses or unnecessary ball switches. I'm just hoping that it will be a good performance. I think the most important thing is a good performance. Quick ball movement out of the back. Yeah, I don't want to see none of the whole standing on the ball. You know what? One of my biggest pet peeves are, I don't know if you lot agree, but when you receive the ball, when players receive the ball, particularly the centre backs, and they just step on it, looking for their options. And that just is a pet peeve of mine. I don't know why. I'm not the professional footballer, so I don't know why that is my pet peeve. But that is my pet peeve. We're scoring a set piece tonight. That is serious confidence. Can we just not concede from it? Listen, guys, I said United 3-1, which means we're going to concede a goal. I just hope it's not a cutback and it's not a set piece. That's it. If it's a screamer, okay, cool. If it's a free kick, Maddison scores a free kick, okay, cool. As long as we don't concede from a corner and we don't concede from a cutback. That is all. Is that too much to ask for? I don't know. If you lot think that's too much to ask for, let me know. But I don't think that's too much to ask for. I actually like this lineup. The lineups will be out in an hour. No VAR. No, I don't think there is. I don't think there's any VAR in the Carabao Cup. I don't think there is any VAR in the Carabao Cup because yesterday, I think it was Arsenal, one of their goals. I don't think it went to VAR with one of Jesus's goals. So I don't think there is VAR. Yeah, there you go. Fillmore says it. Not until the semi-finals. If it's a similar lineup, I'm most looking forward to seeing that back three in action. This is probably the back three that we've been waiting to see, right? Since Manchester United brought 2 of those centre-backs. Since the summer, and we brought De Ligt and Euro, this is the back three that we've been waiting to see. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to save my judgment for that back three, this particular back three. I'm going to save my judgment until they get like 5 to 10 games under their belt together. because one thing I've realized is that the back three changes a lot under Amorim. So it's very difficult for us to get a consistent back three. Will you be reacting to the semi-final draw tonight if United wins, Mina? No, I probably won't, but I will probably mention it in my match reaction after the game, because they do it straight after, right? Spurs will play a high line, so we need to hold the ball small. That's the thing. Because they play a high line, I feel like the game will be won in the middle of the pitch. Like, whoever wins the game in the middle of the pitch will win the game. That doesn't even make sense. But you guys know what I'm saying. The battle of the game is going to be in the middle of the pitch because of... And also, by the way, United play a relatively high line. Not as high as Spurs, but they do play a relatively high line, or they're trying to under Amorim. I think the average... I've seen the average positions after games, which tend to have the back line slightly more higher up than what it is, or what it used to be under Eric Ten Hag. Come on, United, like for the wing. Big up to Stu with the super chat. Guys, be sure to hit the like button on your way out, man. You know the rules. I can't believe if you've been here for this long and you haven't liked the video, well, that's a disgrace. But make sure you hit the like video. I will be uploading a match reaction, 5 things we learned straight after the game, so make sure you guys check that out as well. Video dropping tomorrow as well with Saeed, where we're talking about all recent kind of Manchester United news, and then I'll be live as well tomorrow evening with the Daily Dose of Mina, depending on, you know, what we have to speak about. If there's anything to speak about. But you guys know the rules. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. 3-1 United. That's my prediction that I'm going with. And I hope to catch a lot of you guys on the next live stream. Have a great evening, guys. Come on, United. Peace.